Hello.
What's going on?
Nothing much. How are you?
Tired, tired.
Yeah, one of those days.
How's your day going?
Just starting, so can't complain yet.
All right. Well, I hope there's room for improvement.
Yes, always.
All right, guys. Welcome to the commentary zone. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs up, just because we asked you to. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscription button if you like what you see, and hit the notification bell. We are a little early today because we weren't sure whether Ryan meant today or next week. So for this week and next week, the Thursday show might be a little bit earlier. Okay. All right, on the docket today, we have The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 24, Reunion Part 4. Thank God this mess is over.
Yeah, it's about time.
Um, hey, Susan. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Let's see. Okay, where do we start?
Oh, where do we? I mean, it was all
Wait,
Erica. I mean, we're being honest.
but before we start, did you get the feeling like some of it was repeated, or did we see previews, like way too many previews? Because I just felt like a lot of it,
Oh, we saw way too many previews.
I don't know, it's there's certain parts that I just felt were done already.
But they preview. Remember, they previewed. They pretty much previewed part four. They used part four as the trailer and the previews. That's why it seems repetitive. Because remember,
Mm.
pre-review we saw. We said we're not going to see it. We said we weren't going to see it until probably part three or four, which was to happen. And then they previewed for part two. They previewed part four for the most part. So yeah, the part four was pretty much all previews. So when we
Mm.
got there, it was like, man,
Yeah. Good try, Andy. But
I'm not going to give it
I
that.
no, but he asked semi-decent questions, better than most
Right.
reunions. I will give him that. Obviously, somebody new wrote these. But oops, my issue with it is that, all right, so when you watch news and the interviewer is asking the direct question of the person and they go off on their tangent on what their script is, the interviewer usually does a follow-up to really nail that person and make them answer. And
Right.
none of that was done. And I was a little frustrated.
Because he's not a news person. He's not really an interviewer.
But he comes from news. He comes from news. I'm not going to give him that. He started off with 60 Minutes. No, he comes from news. He's just a slacker and he's gotten lazy.
Well,
And I feel he's living fat off the hog off of this failing franchise.
well,
I'm going to need Bravo to do better. If y'all are paying these people all of this money, and she had the gall to sit down there and say, at least I showed up. LVP didn't show up. She ran away. I showed up. I answered the question. What question you actually answered satisfactorily? Your mouth was open and words was coming out, but were they pertaining to the question that was asked? No.
right.
I don't know.
It was
My
trash.
verdict is that this reunion is guilty of failure. Epic failure. I told you I wasn't gonna say nothing until I saw it.
I
And
told you.
Bravo did the okey doke. She showed up to bully everybody and to flash her cooch. Cause you notice every time she fluffed her dress, poor Sutton was like, she probably had a direct bead on that crotch. And she was flashing herself. every few minutes. It was just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey y'all. Hey everybody. Hey Shay. Let's see. Hey Yanni. Who else? Hey Nisei. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We appreciate you joining us today. Yeah, you can start wherever you want to start, and I'll just chime in. I don't really have much to say.
There wasn't much here, so what are we talking about? Like, let's be honest. There was not. It was just like this is a nothing burger in my opinion. Like nothing was really said. Like you said, Andy did try. The questions were solid. Like he just didn't hammer her though. Like for example, why didn't excuse me? I'm so sorry. Why didn't anyone bring up the fact that her? Why didn't he bring up the fact that her story changed like 45 times?
But it changed again last night.
But he never.
The behind where Tom rolled down the hill or whatever.
Right, but he never
Didn't
called
it
her out.
change?
He
But it
never
changed
called her
again
out.
last night.
Still, he should have called her out. Like, what were those shitty flashbacks of him saying, like, "Okay, Erica, let's talk about the story." You know, like, okay, like Queens of Bravo. Like he highlighted them last night. Why didn't they go into that? Like how her story changed.
Do you think it would help? Okay, so when they do the editing, they do the filming, and then they come back with they do all the editing for us to see on TV, and they insert those pieces, film clips from the
Right.
episode to back up, or to discredit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would help if we had that like live on the set, like how they do on news? Like, you have somebody there who is verifying what is being said or is discrediting what is being said. Like we need a fact checker that is on set to go, I call a timeout on that.
Right.
Director, please bring up clip 52.
Right.
And then they roll it on the Jumbotron or something. And then we go, well, what do you have to say to that? Because this is what you said.
Yeah.
Or something as simple as somebody pulling up their Twitter and sending that thing where the story changed 5 times and showing it to her and go, well, what do you say to that, Erica?
Like someone sitting on the side, and when they say something, he has to buzz it. Time out, hold up.
Yeah.
We got roll footage. Something
yes.
like that.
I want it real time. I don't want them sitting there lying, thinking that they're getting away with it, and then production inserting the clip to discredit it. Not in the reunions, like during the season. Y'all could do that all y'all want. But during the reunions, this needs to be a come to Jesus.
Right. Or at least have a host who's willing to do that. But hold up. Well, based on my clips, you lying.
Yeah, I mean,
it needs a better host, basically.
Yes.
It needs. You know what I'm gonna say is this: it needs to be a host that's actually a fan of the show. Because a real fan is gonna be like, nope, that's not what you said.
I don't even think they need to be a fan of the show. I think they need to be someone who takes the job of hosting seriously, and it needs to be a professional interviewer who knows like all of those those tactics that interviewees do when they really don't want to answer the question, and how to do proper follow-up, how to interrupt when you see that they're going off topic and bring them back in. You need someone who needs to take control of that interview.
I agree, but I'm saying the reason why I think it should be a fan is because a fan will have really have watched the season, and that's the biggest problem. And we can tell Andy does not watch the whole season.
Here's the thing. Here's why I vote against a fan.
No, I'm not saying a fan means someone. You can have like a celebrity or an interviewer who actually watches the show. That's what I mean by fan. Someone who will actually watch the season.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on that particular word, but someone who does their due diligence, someone who does the research, that has to watch the footage and create questions based on what they've seen. I want somebody who's going to take this job seriously and not just there to collect a paycheck so that he could walk around with his kid in New York City taking weird, awkward pictures. Andy, you did a great job. I think you're more suited to behind the camera as opposed to in front of the camera. You might think you're a great celebrity, but in my opinion, this is just me. I have nothing against Andy Cohen, but I'm tired of him being a celebrity.
Here's the thing, though. Everyone keeps. You said this in chat. Says like Andy's a professional interviewer. When was the last professional interview that he's done?
Never.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna cut that out of the argument right there.
Never. Because when he was behind the scenes, he was like a producer. There's a
Thank you.
big difference between a producer and on camera talent.
Correct. That's you because you were saying he comes from news, like he's an interview. No, I'm like we're gonna cut that. No, I'm not gonna give him any slack on that. I'm like no. This is why I say this is why I'm more on the line with having someone. I would prefer to have someone who was a fan who would do their due diligence, but I would take someone being messy like Ronald Richards. Ronald, get up there, do the interview. Go ahead, handle that for me.
You know what? It does need somebody with a legal mind, considering
In
the,
this
the
one,
the track that a lot of these housewives are going down with the legal snafus that they're going into. I wouldn't mind seeing somebody with a legal background. Now, if Ebony is not coming back, could she be a possible future host?
yeah,
Or is
for
she too polarizing?
or even get like Emily D. Baker or somebody fun who would be messy, who watches the show and would be messy, but would ask all the right legal questions.
I Emily D. Baker is great, but I wouldn't want her.
Someone in that realm,
Mm-mm.
someone who would be messy though, who watches the show and who asks all the right legal messy questions. I'm not saying her in
At
particular. I'm saying
this
someone in that realm.
point, no, but at this point, right? With so many of these women having legal issues, I would forego messy for accuracy and follow up. And with that, you get the mess because I don't think these housewives are capable of a cross examination. So that will be the mess for me.
Right. And I suggested Emily because she used to be a like a ADA in LA, and so
No, I know she has a
she would
really great
know.
background with
She
the
would
with the
know.
LA District's Attorney Office. Yep, she's had like over a decade's experience,
I'm like,
but
so
I wouldn't
what do
want
you know?
her.
So what do you know about Tom? What have you heard about Tom? What's the
But you see,
real?
that's a direct conflict of interest right there, possibly. No, but she would. She's an option, but I personally wouldn't want her. Mm-mm. Oh, jeez, spam calls are gonna kill me. Shiba. Didn't check anything. They never done a deep dive or brought anything new. Yeah, because I think they consider this fluff. But when you got housewives doing hard time in federal penitentiaries, this has gone beyond the fluff. And
Mm-hmm.
I really think it would benefit Bravo and NBC Universal Comcast, or whatever their name is, to cover themselves and get somebody in there professional and not Andy. Andy, go back to behind the scenes and producing and creating these shows, and get rid of Watch What Happens Lives.
Shut up.
Even though I do get some dirt from it, but I think it's useless now. Let's just call a thing a thing. That is that is something for him to do to get a lot of salary and bring on possible future boyfriends or old boyfriends as the bartender. That's it.
That's
I
it.
had to spin like, oh, Shay. Welcome, Shay. The scenes of her lying. There are plenty. Yeah. And they put them in edits, but
Mhm.
I would like to see her face crack if they showed them there during the filming. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. Her story kept changing. It changed again last night,
Yeah.
Susan. I was just like, wait, what? And then like people were trying to say, but that's not what you said. She's like, can you please stop and let me tell my story? I'm glad she said tell my story, because that was a lovely bedtime story for me, because I watched the first rerun. So it was my bedtime, and I just gave up. I just gave up. Between that and Lisa's triumphant acting return on her regret tour of all the mean and vicious things that she's done to these women on this cast, I had about had it.
Hmm.
But
She was trying to cover too. She was playing ultimate defense.
she was
The
trying to
the
save
the,
her job at that point.
the waterproof mascara. She said, "Well, maybe it was a different makeup artist." I'm like, "Okay, that's it."
Lisa said
I'm
that
like,
mess, and I
I
was
was
like,
like,
are
done.
you serious?
No.
And then, oh my God, the constant over talking with Kyle, Dorit, and Lisa trying to run the defense of Erica. I just didn't hear most of that when they were all talking at the same time. I'm sorry, my hands aren't distracting, but it was super stupid. This was annoying. I think they should fire everybody. Um, they should just keep Garcelle, Sutton, keep Crystal as a friend until she earned her way back to a diamond.
You got that money. You gonna demote her to cubic zirconia? That's so wrong.
Yeah, and get all new people. Oh, I'm so annoyed. And
So what did you think about um the whole situation where was it a fan question where they're talking about when Erica was going off on everybody, like just yelling and screaming at everybody, like no one called her a bully, and I think
mm-hmm.
I think it was directed at Garcelle. Like, how did you feel? Like, if you said
Garcelle, yeah.
something in that realm, I was like, that's a good point. And they zoomed to Dorit's face, and she just had nothing to say. I'm like, yep.
Her makeup cracked. Did you notice that it was a lot of makeup failure by the time they got to this part? And what the sad thing is that I feel like this is the first thing that they filmed. But I noticed makeup failure on Kyle, Dorit, and I think Lisa. I think it was Lisa. It was just, ugh. So maybe they did do an extra long filming to get Erica all out and did not let the ladies go and touch
Right.
up or anything. So what we saw last night was probably the very beginning of the taping, um, when they were filming that day. I don't know. It was kind of disappointing.
I mean, but we knew it would be though. Let's be honest.
Like I said, I wanted to reserve judgment because I've been bamboozled with the Bravo okey doke one too many times. I was hoping that she would make sense in her responses, but maybe I just watched it too late. I don't know. To look tired and aged. Okay, so are y'all talking about Erica? Because I thought it was just me. Um, she looks a lot different, but I thought maybe it was because her makeup was so different than what we're used to seeing. Um, like with Erica, she usually does a lot of liner, especially on the bottom, to really make her eyes pop. And she had absolutely no liner on her
Hmm.
bottom, on the bottom of her eyes. I thought her contouring was off too, because she does have like a kind of hooked nose. And normally with her contouring, it kind of takes away from that. And
You know what I
Maybe
thought it
it was
was?
a different makeup artist. I'll go with what Lisa says.
You know what? I thought she was trying to look broke. That's my opinion. She was trying to look
Susan
like she had no money.
Susan said something that her husband said that she looks like an old hooker or something like that, or old prostitute. It was the look she was giving off, like with that
Aging call
80s
girl.
prom dress, the 80s prom dress, the retro hair, the makeup wasn't what I was accustomed to seeing with her.
She was
Because
going
when
for broke
she's in
chic.
full glam, she looks spectacular.
She was going for broke chic. I'm telling you. I'm,
Ooh.
I'm telling you, she's going for broke. Because it would look real crazy for her to come up there crying broke during the season and then coming on the show on the reunion glammed up. That would make no sense. It wouldn't fit the narrative.
But the dress was weird. Like she could have put on the dress that Crystal had on, and that would have
Yeah,
been better because
yeah,
all of her thigh was showing. She was
right.
advertising. I'm
She was,
sorry.
but the problem with the dress was this: it washed her out. The color was not. That's not the color for her. I don't know why she like Erica looks good in those deep reds, deep colors.
The
Yes, and
blues
for her
that
when she
play
came
off
out,
of her eyes. But my problem, the color of her dress was Lisa her problems. The design was god awful.
well, I was getting there, but
And it
okay, go ahead.
exposed a lot of like the breast wasn't that bad because at least the breasts were taped in place, but her, like, you could see up to her like hip bone for real, and then she kept on flashing the damn thing. I don't know what she was doing.
Advertising, like you said.
It was just uncalled for, even for a while. Yeah, I, hmm. I agree with Shay what she said. Erica has been evil for a while. Yeah. You lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. Sorry.
Exactly. And I also want to
Um,
go back to the 20 million. Now
mhm.
remember, Andy said his law firm, like this document saying the law firm put $20 million into your and gave you 20.
Mhm.
No, she's like, no, they did not. He's like, well, yeah, it says that they gave you 20 million into. She's like EJ Global. I'm like, okay. So he's like, right. She's like, didn't happen. But then you go towards the end of the reunion. It
Mhm.
comes up again. She's like, he never put $20 million into my account. I'm like, Choose those words wisely.
But I thought she didn't have an account.
No, what she said was she used the word account because she's making out he did not give her the $20 million versus because there's a difference between giving someone money into their account versus giving money to their company. Because she
Wait,
used
but
that word.
she's claimed that he ran EJ Global. She's claimed that, hasn't she?
She's I don't think she what she was trying to say was she's not involved into like the finances is what she's saying, the bookkeeping. So she's saying that he never put $20 million into her bank account. That's why she used the word account. She never said company. I was like,
She
oh,
can't have it both ways because she claimed she don't know how to use the ATM. She doesn't have an account. Everything she earned she gave to Tom. Um, so how all of a sudden she could claim he did not put anything into her account. And then another thing that was inconsistent for me, when he brought up the 14 million on her Amex, and she's like, well, over 8 or 10 years.
12 years,
And yeah, 12 years. And that breaks down to like about 2 million a year. And that's normal for the lifestyle.
which is right.
Okay. Okay. But then he's like, well, how did you pay for glam? And she's like, well, you said it. I have a salary. You know how much I make. But if you gave that all to Tom, like It's so convoluted, this web of lies that she's told.
No, it's not, because what he asked her was like, "How are you paying for things now?" So
But
he's
isn't
like,
her,
"Well,
but so now she's separated it. She no longer, she would have had to set that up before she left him, though.
correct, exactly,
It's not making
exactly."
sense. Oh, uh,
But I think they get paid every 2 weeks though. They're not given a lump sum. It's either every 2 weeks or they get two payments. It's something weird. I read about it somewhere, and I thought it was very interesting. That's
right,
how they're
but
paid.
if they're paid per episode, they cannot get paid until after the final edit.
Right.
So you film all that time for however, like the 2 months or whatever the filming schedule is, but you I guess you might get a small percentage up front to commit you to film, but
Right. I
then once
would.
they do the edit, then they factor out how much you're paid per episode that you're in, and then you get the bonus for showing up to the reunion. So I mean, because a lot of times when they start filming, they don't even know who's a
Mhm.
housewife and who's a friend, or
Unless it's
even if
signed.
the friend even makes the cut.
Right.
So the salaries, you can't really get paid until final edit, honestly. This is so stupid. And needs a new man to pay her bills. Yes, crazy cat mama. She could do sugar daddy. Okay. Uh-huh. Let's see what else y'all say. I thought it was 25.
Oh, that was the.
It goes between 20 and
Oh,
25.
no. Those are two different things. There's a
Two
20
different
million.
things.
Yes, there's a 20 million to EJ Global, and there's the
Mm-hmm.
25 that got funneled into her company. That's where they got the. That's where the Amex bill and stuff came from. That's where all.
Uh,
That's where the. You know how you talk about that $14 million Amex bill? That's lumped
uh-huh.
into that 25 million with interest turned into 28 million. And the 20
Oh,
million was a quote. The 20 million is the loan to EJ Global. So it's
wonder
two
what
different. It's two
happened
different
in
monies.
Vegas. She's probably too old for him though. But isn't he blind? So it wouldn't matter. You know the guy that owns Win?
But
That's what Tracy's talking about.
I'm still trying to figure out how Tom calls her while unconscious, but no one's gonna mention that.
Cause he
And
woke up.
he didn't know where he was, but he saw the bridge.
No, wait. The first time he didn't know where he was. He thought he was near some place. And then the second time he called her, he could see something. And she's like, "Oh, you're behind the house. Let me
But he
go
was,
run get
but
you."
then I'm saying that negates the whole unconscious for 12 hours.
Again, that whole story was so chock full of lies.
I was like, what? He called you all unconscious and you see the bridge?
It was a whole new story, Jamal. That's why I just gave up on listening. I was like,
Oh,
wait. Whoever did that, the thing that I sent you with the 5 lies,
that was
and I
hilarious.
think we have to add on 2 more now because it
Right.
has evolved during this reunion. It's just team too much. Team too much.
So Yanni, this was actually on Twitter and Instagram because basically it was hilarious. You know how Anthony didn't mention Bethany's name,
Oh
or
yes. Well,
or was it Lisa Vanderpump? It was one of the two. It's one of those two.
they mentioned Lisa's name, but you mean with regards to the rumor of financial
Yes.
troubles, right? Kyle
Right.
said she threw Andy under the bus and said a mutual friend of ours.
Right.
And he said, "Yes, I did hear that, but I took it as gossip."
Right.
And wait, did you see Andy made hold on. I saw a quick note of it here. Andy Cohen is so glad Erica Jane's $1,000 baby gift never arrived.
Oh. So here's the thing.
Us Weekly is reporting that.
Was he talking about Bethany, or was he talking about Lisa Vanderpump on the reunion?
I think they said Lisa Vanderpump's name with regards to saying it, but who they originally heard it from, they left out Bethany's name because that's big money there. And she probably said, don't bring my name up in this, or we're going to have hella problems. Right. And you know that they dying to get her back in some capacity, so they're not going to piss her off.
Because Bethany, I would figure as much because Bethany and Kyle were friends at that time.
Yep. Yeah, but now they're not. Oh dear.
But Bethany put that out herself. They're like, yeah, I heard about this years ago. Dennis told me. When she said Dennis told me about he owed me some money. I'm like, what? And the killing part is this. He asked her, like, did you know, like, did you have any sign there were like money issues? She's like, yeah, when I was on Broadway. He's like, what? She's like, yeah. He's like, was a credit card declined? She's like, yeah. She's like, I was like, oh. I was like,
but she only realized that there was financial troubles in 2020 when the credit card declined. Really?
Which is a lie.
So you don't hear the gossip that all of these other women seem to hear?
And here's the thing. To me, that's a lie because you just served the lawsuit in 2016, 2017. That didn't tell you there were money issues. So I'm not buying that. A lawsuit tells me he's not paying bills.
Yeah. Okay, so Yanni says it's lump sum. Okay, so basically contract workers don't get like a traditional salary. You're right like that, Yanni. They're contract workers. So
they are.
Yeah, so I think they get a small upfront as a commitment to film. And then once they edit, they get paid based on the number of episodes that they're in. And based on whether they're a full-time cast member or a friend, that's how much they get paid. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't remember why I remember Kyle mentioned the rumors of lawsuits, not that he was broke. Oh, thank you, Katie, for the allegedly. Did you see what I sent you in the chat, Jamal? That's the article that came out, I guess, yesterday. Wow. Oh, yeah, she didn't want to talk about her son in the snow in Pasadena. Poor thing. Poor thing. Well, if I was her son, I wouldn't want to be spoken of either. Because he's a police officer. That's my biggest thing. He's a police officer, and I guess he doesn't want to be involved in this mess. Pay by episode shown, not even days they work. Yeah. So they could work like a 16-hour day. And if they're not in the episode, they won't get paid. I would hope he would say that. I don't know. Her mess, I don't know why she sat there and she was like, this doesn't affect anybody. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. And I would also like to know why Tom's children from his other marriage do not speak to her, and when did everybody stop speaking? And how is it okay now for her to say that she speaks to him, meaning Tom, and she just wanted to check on him and see that he was okay? Like, I thought it might have been fake, but this is what I expect of a woman who was married to a man for 20 years. And to do, like, to call him, he, has had a health decline. He's now in assisted living. I would expect, like, even if y'all ended on the worst of terms, I would still think that there would be a shred of decency in you to contact this person and make sure that they're okay.
Here's the thing, though.
And that
Exactly.
came across as semi-genuine from her. So this whole season was just like, no, I'm not talking. No, 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 no. And you bit Garcelle's head off because she said that he calls you. All of that was okay now. It shut up, girl. I
Here's my
can't
thing with
with
her.
him.
She's not understanding. You understand the reason why she's in this mess is because basically they're saying that she benefited from Tom's thievery or alleged thievery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what they're saying is like, girl, anything you've given us is probably from that money, so we could be implicated. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's benefited is gonna have to give that back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
any
So
gifts? Could you imagine the glam? Oof. The gifts that she's given her staff. Oof. And she made a good
wow.
point. Like Tom, like say Tom did it. Are you gonna go back and garnish everybody's wages? This, and that. Blah blah blah. I mean, she has a good point, but they would only go after the people. So they wouldn't go after people's salaries because that's neither here nor there. That's not really a benefit. They were doing a good job, so they deserve to be paid. It's what they
Mm-hmm.
consider non-essentials, like trips and planes and yachts and stuff like that.
And gifts. Mm-mm. Isn't she trying to claim all her jewelry as gifts?
Yes, yeah. Someone's I want to say it's Instagram. That's why they said. That's why Erica made sure to put everything Tom bought her on screen as they marked it as gift.
Did they?
Yeah, the Panther ring, it was gift. Or she said, "Oh, this is a gift from Tom."
But then she said that she was shopping for that. Like it was a hunt for that particular ring. Remember when she was talking about it? It took her months to find it or something, or was that
Right.
a pair of earrings?
I thought it was the earrings.
It was a
I,
couple of
I could be
things
wrong. I
though.
could be wrong though. But she made sure to say, "Oh, this was a gift from Tom. Oh, look what Tom got me." Yeah, she wanted to make sure she was covered.
Mm.
And Yanni's right. She shows how long they were playing all of this. I said they would have been putting money away since they've been on the show.
Oh my God. When they became poor, his kids stopped talking to her.
Wow.
Okay. Yanni says, look, I'm human. Clearly, she loved and admired him. It was a real marriage, even if she wasn't the main thing.
Mhm.
That's why I think she's responsible as much as him. Uh, hmm.
Oh, she bought the ring herself. She was
Yeah,
proud she did.
yeah,
Oh.
she was on the hunt for that ring because I think like the local store didn't have it. She had to like try and. There was a whole backstory on the track of her getting that ring. I didn't think it was a gift from him.
Let me
I
double
think
check.
the earrings were. And then there was a second pair of earrings that she had from Cartier. That's on a separate interview. Like which magazine does it? One of these stupid magazines does it, where they interview a person and they ask them to show like at least 6 pieces of their jewelry collection and why it's their favorites and like a little story behind each piece. And they did one with Erica, and everything was a gift from Tom. But it was this Cartier earring that she had. She only had one, and I think it was the first gift that Tom gave to her, and she lost one of them. And then it became discontinued and blah, blah, blah. But she still has the other one. And it's so sentimental to her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. But she gave a backstory on a couple of her pieces. Sutton also did it. Sutton's was really good. All right. She's a disgrace to Anna Nicole Smith. Any husband or wives get implicated. That's the law. Okay. If you involved any other family members, let's see. Oh, good Lord. You guys are going off in this. Was there anything else that stood out to you?
I think we hit all the big ticket items. Oh, when they were going down the line of Miranda's misdeeds. I feel bad for each and every one of those situations, and I would take them all back. I really would. Really, really. Yolanda, Kim, Denise, you would take it all back. Yep, now you
LVP.
would.
Don't forget the role she played in LVP.
But they didn't bring that up with her though. It was only
Kind of.
Yolanda.
They showed a clip where, because I think Andy was talking about, there were so many questions directed towards Lisa Vanderpump regarding the puppy thing. And then they
Hmm.
showed the clip of Lisa doing a cross examination
Yeah,
and
that's
saying,
fair.
well, doesn't that kind of implicate you? I think was the final thing that she said there. And I was just
If
like,
you're an employee, it's your employee. It wouldn't be out there if you didn't want it out there.
yeah. And I was just like, wow, okay. So do you think that this will ease LVP back into the fold?
It would be interesting to see her come back. I would like to see her come back just to mess with Rena.
And or it?
So we're on the chopping block, but since
It
her house.
has secured a diamond, okay? And she's going to talk
Mm,
the entire season about what happened for 20 minutes.
right. My house was broken into. Oh my god, I was so scared. I'm shook. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Still
The
convenient
way
though.
she cried about him have to be real. No, when she was okay. Was she really crying about him, or was she crying about the fact that how could he have left her with all of these lawsuits against her? Does it
That's another
all
point.
circle back to her, or is it about him? She's a bad actress, Susan. Mm-mm. Okay, so we all know that LVP did tell Page Six, and It was super wrong for hiding she gave the dog away, but had tortured LVP as she lost her brother, specifically for who was cruel and uncalled for.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think if LVP hadn't, because I think she lost her mom and her brother within a few months of each other. It was two people she lost. I remember the brother.
I think it was her grandmother.
It was a grandmother.
I think it's the
Okay.
grandmother.
So she lost two really close people, really close together. Um, I don't think she was in the right frame of mind to
No,
attack as she normally would have. And I think that's why she was like, I'm done.
right. And that's another thing.
And
Erica,
she doesn't have to come back to get the reunion bonus. That's the big difference between LVP and
right.
Erica. Erica need a check.
Erica said, I rang the bell. I showed up. She didn't. I'm like, no. Lisa just took the bell and went home. There's a difference.
And then got a show out of it and got shows out of it.
Right. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
And let's just call a thing a thing. Her situation was about a little puppy dog. Okay?
Right.
A puppy dog. Versus what Tom did. And your role in it. Allegedly.
That's just the thing, though. Like when she said that, I'm like, you know what? You only showed up for that check. LVP said, "F all y'all. I'm not coming."
Mm-hmm. Hey, Laura Georgia. Welcome. Who is offering Erica shows? No. Woo! She can't even get the center pole at the local strip club right about now. Sorry.
And then when Andy asked, like, well, you didn't have like find his phone. They're like, Andy, he has a flip phone. They're like, she's like, keep up.
Keep up.
I will agree with that one. Like, there's no Find My Phone on the Star Trek phones. He old school.
No.
He old school.
No.
You ain't tracking him. That's why he kept that phone. No tracking software.
No tracking stuff. You
That's what that
so
was.
silly.
No, that's why Tommy got dumb. He always keep
Or
his
maybe
little track
he
phone.
just didn't want to be bothered. Like this, it had the big buttons. How much you want to bet he don't even got the Star Trek? He got the one from AARP that have the big buttons for the senior citizens.
It's a Star Trek. It's a Star Trek.
It
You could tell
is?
you could tell by the type. I'm like, Star Trek, the Star Trek phone. I got you.
Oh Lord.
What else? Like, I think this was pretty much the reunion. We got what we expected. We hoped for more. We got less, and I'm just glad it's over.
Wait, what did you think about the part where Sutton was actually talking with Erica and saying that she was rude with how she spoke to her and that she had to hire security for a week? And that, because I think it was Yanni who brought it up. When did Sutton threaten Erica's family? Erica threatened Sutton, and she tried to backpedal and say, no, what I meant was, everybody has a turn where they're being focused on. And when it's your turn, I will not give you the grace that I was expecting. Wait, what? That ain't what you said.
No.
That ain't what you said.
This is when we need your friend in the corner, the fact checker, to roll footage.
Yes.
Like stuff like
they
that.
They do it during debates with politicians. They have a running fact checker there. I'm gonna need these women. Oh, and then when she called Sutton, she said that Sutton was being a B effing see you next Tuesday.
Right.
Hello? And no one called that out right there? That was okay?
And then my
this
thing
is still a job, y'all. This is still a job. Y'all are employees and this is a professional environment. Come on now.
And my whole thing is this: how come they did not bring up the fact that why didn't Annie bring up the fact like well, Erica, like you and Sutton were friends or are friends or whatever. Like she was Sutton the only one to offer you money if you needed it? I wanted that question answered. I wanted that brought up because that was a key to me. That was a key thing, like the fact that Sutton was like seemed to be the only one to offer her coins if she needed it.
And Sutton did say, I came and asked you, and she was like, only after you talked behind my back. All of y'all heifers talk behind each other back. That's the premise of the show.
And I like the fact that Andy brought that.
Sitting right next to you, Erica, is the main one that be talking behind people back.
Right, and that's what Lisa said that. Well, you did, and then Andy's like, well, come on now, Lisa.
And she came into that I think it was the Christmas thing with guns blazing. No, it wasn't Christmas. When was it? When did Lisa drop the dime on her? That was after La Quinta. They had the meeting without her.
Was that Kathy's party?
And then yes. Yeah, it had to be Kathy's party. Because she came in guns blazing because Lisa told her.
Yeah.
And they admitted it. Thank God.
Right.
Yeah,
they couldn't lie about that though.
But it was obvious. It was obvious. Let's see. I like that Kathy set the record straight with Garcelle and apologized to her for not showing to the Haitian dinner, the dinner party, because apparently she didn't get the all clear from some C-19 I guess they kept her in quarantine. She might have been exposed to somebody, but she didn't get the final clearance. But why production ain't tell Garcelle?
Being messy.
Uh,
I have a question for you. Like,
mm.
do you understand where Erica's coming from? Finding out they had that meeting without her. For me, I will go first. For me, I understood her point of view. Like, if you're going to have a meeting about me, like, at least have me there so I can tell you what's going on.
I can see that too. And she only made that comment once, but she kept on focusing the bulk of her ire on somebody calling her a liar and
Right.
not for not being included in the meeting. So that's where I'm not feeling it for Erica. Had she had just said, why didn't you just call me and let me be there and let me, explain everything to you? But it would have been null and void anyway. That would have been a useless meeting because all of the troops would have rallied around her and nobody would have said what they truly felt with Erica there. That's why the meeting was called without her.
But here's the thing, it's being filmed. That was my whole thing. I understand where you're coming from, definitely. But my thing was this. I mean, it was gonna be filmed, so why not have her there and just say it all up front? Was my whole thing. But they were in the moment, so I get it was basically like, we need to talk about this and we need to talk about this now. She leaves. You know what it is? I think, had she not left that trip, this was La Quinta, right? We're still there, right?
La Quinta, yeah.
I think, had she not left La Quinta and that article came out, I don't think that meeting would have happened.
It wouldn't have.
I don't think it would have happened.
Here's the thing, though. It was necessary for that meeting to happen without Erica. It's so that Dorit and Kyle could say what they truly felt and get it on film. They weren't doing that in front of Erica, and production needed that to catch the hypocrisy. And it was also the setup for the takedown of Sutton. That meeting without Erica was key to the plot line of the season. And it's sad. It truly is. But out of all of them, Sutton is the only one who asked questions both at that meeting and then to Erica. Kyle is like, well, I asked all of the questions too. You asked one question, girl. Did you know about it? Okay. You didn't. I believe you. So just because Erica says something doesn't mean that it's the gospel. Come on, ladies. How y'all getting through life if this is the case? You have to see what is presented before you. Yes, you can ask your friend if it's true, but if she's in legal jeopardy, do you really think she's going to tell y'all the truth in front of cameras?
Yeah.
So that's where you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to find facts. And y'all villainize Sutton for actually using her brain and trying to decipher the facts and seeking legal counsel, because this is a woman who has just received her divorce settlement.
Right.
Is setting up a company and gets how much? $300,000 a month from the husband for the children for child support. I'm not fucking that up. Are you serious? Over Erica Jane Girardi and the plane crash crew? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
And they villainized her for asking a question and using reasonable deduction. Oh my God. All of these women need to go. All of them. I do. Fox Force 5, whatever, burn, gone, no longer needed. Wait, who had surgery? Who's having surgery?
Paranormal's having kidney stone surgery on the 18th.
Oh no, paranormal. Oh, I hope everything goes well. Big hugs, big hugs. Oh. So yeah, this was my only thing. That meeting needed to be happened. When they did try to ask her questions,
right?
Fuck all if anything came out.
I'm gonna say this too. I think Lisa put extra hot sauce on the rundown she gave to Erica too, which is why she came in guns blazing. Because if you look at the tape, they were asking really good questions, and their concerns were valid. And the way Erica reacted to a meeting where she was not in attendance tells me like Lisa put hot sauce on her rundown completely.
But it was all directed at one person though.
Right. The person who's supposed to be her friend.
Lisa got the other two in line and said, "You better backpedal and come and support." You know, and it all of a sudden was all Sutton's fault.
But this just goes to show you how Lisa treats her friends. So remember, Sutton was her good friend.
Yep.
She loves Sutton. Sutton's rich. And now you throw Sutton under the bus. You just need to people need to understand that if you come on the show through Lisa Rinna, you're gonna get thrown under the bus your second season. Just understand that.
Denise? Didn't she Denise?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just glad this season's over.
Yeah. We all know they're gonna bring the same stupid cast next season. I'm not here for it though. Before Kyle went to LVP home, they all had a meeting at the restaurant to discuss pressure Kyle to speak up on. Oh yes.
Yep.
And that wasn't an issue.
Until Kyle got thrown out of the house.
Goodbye, Kyle.
That was hilarious. Lisa said, "F off, you know your way out." I was like, "Ooh," and then Kyle kept trying to talk to Lisa. He's all, "Goodbye, Kyle." That was classic, and that's how you do it, though. F off and see yourself out.
Honestly, Erica could have stayed home because she did not clear up anything. She merely confirmed that she gives 0 Fs about anyone but her. She was lies on lies, yes. And the retelling of that story again, wow. Rinna is worried. Rinna is worried about Kathy cutting her off. She doesn't say she regrets what she did to Kim. The rest was only to deflect. Interesting. Did we like seeing Patrick at the end? Patrick and Carlos? Kathy's 2 butlers? Kathy got 2 butlers up in the mansion.
Yep.
Every time Erica changes the bed. That's a lie to me.
Back.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah. It is a lie. It is a lie. I don't know. I call Sutton and Garcelle the power twins. Aww. they and I don't even know how I feel about Garcelle saying that she regrets not speaking up when Erica was going off at I think it was at Kathy's house, where she regrets not trying to diffuse the situation. I'm not even sure how I feel about that. She was sitting right next to Erica. I was listening to this in an after show, and I don't know if any of you guys actually watched the Housewives after show thing on YouTube, but she was saying that she couldn't hear what Erica was saying when she was foaming at the mouth towards Sutton. But wasn't she like right next to her? How is that possible? And so I don't Like, you stayed quiet while Sutton was attacked. I know y'all are friends. I get it. But I felt like you could have said more in the moment. And I'm not sure why you didn't. And I'm glad you have regrets over it, but ugh, God. Why did Erica bring up ROA? Yes, I thought that was foul. I was like, what you trying to say, girl?
She brought up Atlanta, Potomac, and New York. She brought up all three and said it would be like any other franchise. It would be in conversation, but for some reason it was Beverly Hills. She didn't understand the whole.
But that's how y'all
issue.
do in Beverly Hills, though.
Right.
That's how y'all do in Beverly Hills. This
What
ain't
are you
nothing
talking
new.
about? No. Y'all talk about everybody.
And when people talk on the other shows, they don't carry on like doofuses, like how you do. Nobody wants to talk with that. I know I don't. I don't think she regrets. I didn't believe. I think she does in hindsight, but I'm just disappointed in her. I'm just very disappointed that you didn't say something in the moment. And I don't understand how you could say because Erica had her back to you that you couldn't hear what was being said. Like y'all weren't that far, like y'all were sitting next to each other.
Who are we talking about now? Sorry.
Garcelle on the
But she
after
said that
show,
though.
she said she couldn't hear what Erica was saying to Sutton because Erica had her back to her. But if you sitting right next to her, you still can't hear, even though your back is turned. I don't have super hearing, but I can still hear what's being said.
Right, and she know, at least at least on the reunion, she's like, you know what, I should have spoke up, blah 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 blah. And I agree, like you really should have.
But it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. I like Garcelle, but she has another. Wait, hold on. For her, but didn't really speak up on this. It was a confessional.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I can think of is that maybe she was gun shy after Erica's attack from La Quinta.
Right.
I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I'm conflicted, and it's only because it's Garcelle. I do have a bias, and I'm conflicted by what she said on the after show,
Right.
and what she said in the reunion with regards to having regrets for not speaking up. I'm conflicted, but it's because I'm biased. I will say that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Frozen. Wait. Okay, hold on. I like Garcelle. She speaks her mind. We need more girls like her around. But it's when she speaks her mind that is key. It's great in the confessional, but we also need you to. Oh,
Step
and
up
you
on
know what
camera.
else? This whole season, It has been coming at her for these like supposed jabs when Garcelle thought that she was speaking to her in plain talk. Maybe I'm just trying to find excuses, y'all. Sorry, that's my bias. You think Garcelle is guarded being on the other talk show? Oh, you think The Real has something to do with this? I doesn't buy it. And Erica is in charge of the girls. Yeah, Erica and Lisa. Sutton said that Erica was whispering something to her. Oh yeah, I do remember that. How did Erica become the ringleader? I don't think she is. I think Lisa is. I think Lisa pulls the strings. Either if our son when they were making fun of son, I never heard before. Yeah. I was disappointed in that. Unless she was keeping quiet to hear everything that they had to say. And then they edited it out afterwards. Oh, that word sounded awful. But they did an edit afterwards, and she just sat there like a dum-dum. I don't know. Oh, she doesn't need bad press for the real.
Mm-hmm.
True. Or for any of her other jobs, to be truthful.
Right. Because she's definitely working.
Garcelle's very direct. She told Doritos to her face. Yeah, I thought she was too. But Dorit was trying to find a storyline this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
So this was it. And I bet you it was based on suggestion from Lisa Rinna,
Mm-hmm.
because Lisa Rinna wanted to pull Dorit back in line.
Right.
On Team Erica when she saw that Dorit and Garcelle were getting along at the beginning of the season.
Right.
By the way, the taping of Erica saying your family that Bravo never showed, not even at the reunion. Wait, what? By the way,
where's the tape?
Where's the tape? Oh.
I agree.
Mm. Oh, child. Okay. I think we've beat this dead horse enough. Let us know what you think in the live chat, or in comments below. Hi, replay crew. What you thought of this reunion? Was it a yay or was it a nay? It kind of fell flat for me. And I'm being too judgy. I don't know. I wish things were different.
Yeah, but we knew what we were getting though.
Yeah, but I wanted it. I wanted to turn a corner. I wanted this to be the beginning of something better for this franchise, hoping for change, and I guess not.
I don't think so because I mean I understand legal issues and all that good stuff. I really do, but they weren't. Andy was never gonna ask the really hard hitting questions, okay, let me play it back. He asked some good questions. I'll put it away, but he didn't like you said. He didn't follow up those questions, which was the problem.
Yeah.
That was the issue. Like he would ask the good questions and then he would just accept her answer, and it's like, okay, no.
Ebony says we are the victims at this point. Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes, we are.
This is just sad.
It was. But at least the season's over. I guess they've started taping already. Whatever. We'll give it a look-see next season. Hope they can come with something better than the robbery.
It's gonna be like a main storyline unless something happens to break.
They better be careful with that. Because Andy out here going, that's Dorit's story to tell.
And then the funny thing is this, though. This is just another way for Kyle to get Teddy back on this show. Since isn't this her husband's company that did the alarm system?
So they found out that he did do it?
That's what I've been seeing online, unless I'm misreading everything.
Oh my God. He needs to find another business because obviously this one's not working. And did anybody find out whether Dorit lives in a gated community or not? Oh Lord, Yanni. Be careful of Black Twitter because at this point they love Sutton. Okay. Oh, child. I don't know.
Oh, really?
What?
So, I just happened to be across this real quick. It says, this is from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. Beverly Hills. Dana Wilkie denies wrongdoing in Dorit Kemsley's gunpoint robbery. Shades Teddy Mellencamp. Dana Wilkie said her Instagram post is not responsible for the robbery at Dorit Kemsley's home. Blah blah blah. She said her post did not said her post about Kemsley's home from an official document did not prompt a break-in. However, Teddy Mellencamp accused Wilkie's post of being the inspiration behind the crime. Really, Teddy?
Ooh.
Adding that Mellencamp should recommend to Kemsley. Okay, let me go back. Wilkie shared that her post was public information and she did not disclose anything that would trigger a robbery. Adding that Mellencamp should recommend to Kemsley how to improve her security system. I've heard she knows a lot about that. Oof. What in the hell?
Yeah, this was, and they broke a window, and why the alarm didn't go off or alert the security company, and why it took 20 minutes. If the alarm was on, why did it take 20 minutes for the police to get there? If this is such a posh neighborhood. I don't know. A lot of things ain't mathing for me, but I don't have all of the facts, so maybe that's why it's not adding up, because I didn't really care. You know, once I found out that she and the kids were okay, I was just like, okay, all right, whatever. But since Bravo was supposed to start filming the next day in her house, did Bravo already have their cameras set up? Didn't they catch something? Or they just don't record like how they do with Atlanta?
Right.
You know, whatever. At least Kyle, the whole system wasn't all set up, but with Dorit, they had it for a while. Yeah, but then again, the system can only work if you what do you call it? Engage it or
turn it on, activate
it. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah. So maybe I should do some due diligence on this. No, it's Dorit. I don't care. Jamal, I'll leave that up to you.
I just wonder who did. I'm trying to find out who did the security system. Because why else would Teddy be there? That was my question. Because it just seemed weird that Teddy would be at Dorit's house with Erica.
I told you when we saw that. Remember what I said? Either she was on the apology tour, if it was her husband's security system,
right,
or she was over there with business cards saying, I'll give you a discount and let my husband hook you up.
Yeah, you did say that. So I was like, and I was with you on those assumptions. Like, why are you there? Like, y'all not friends like that.
And she wanted to be on TV. Let's just call a thing a thing. Teddy is just trying to find any way to be relevant.
I mean, I'm not gonna front. She's on this tour. She's gonna be where she needs to be.
Not in a good. Oh, Ebony says that she thought that Dorit and Teddy weren't in a good space.
I mean, it's weird. I mean, I understand being in a good space, but like when your home gets broken into, I'm not gonna call somebody I'm in a good space with. I'm gonna call my best friends, the people I talk to on a daily basis. And based on the Instagrams and the Twitter, I just didn't see them being like that cool of friends. I can see now. If Kyle's house was broken into, I could see Teddy showing up.
She's looking for camera time. Sorry. Would think Windows had a separate alert that would work even if you didn't turn in the door. Turn on the door one. I think all the alarms, like you punch in your code and everything is alarmed. And Windows they have separate sensors, but they all lead back to the master keypad or what have you. Like Debbie said, I don't care enough. But I wonder if this was an actual window that can open, because only windows that can open have that sensor. But if this was one of those pane windows that's just there but can't like open, would it have a sensor? I don't think so. But if you have all of those luxurious things and another thing that made me not care, it went from $100,000 burglary to $1 million burglary in the space of 24 hours. Get your math straight. Did PK come back from London and all of a sudden jack up the amount of money that's gone? See, that's why y'all get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's why y'all get in trouble. Like a door than windows. I don't know. Okay. Jamal, you're in charge of caring about this.
I'll think about it.
But anyway, it was a scary situation with
Yeah.
children. Yes, yes. And that's why I said once I found out that she and the children were fine and no, physical harm was on anybody other than, everything that Dorit went through begging for her life and her children's life and stuff like that, hearing somebody say kill her, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, not even Dorit. But once I found out they were fine, I was like, oh, okay. It is what it is. This is not good because if we, the audience, doesn't care, then we, the audience, will check out and not give you. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe $1 million in robbery is to offset the $1 million in. Oh! Larja. Poor Rito. But the money thing is very suspicious. It is. It is. But at least there's a police report.
Right. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. You know why it feels staged? It feels even more staged after I heard Andy comment on it.
Yeah.
After I heard Andy comment on it, I just rolled my eyes and I was just like, I can't. But anywho, I've got to go and run and get lunch because I'm hungry. Jamal, we'll see you back here 12 noon your time, Pacific, 3 p.m. my time. We're going to go over this week in Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
We've got some funny stories this week, no doubt. But even if you fake the police report, yeah. She pays retail.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Larger Curls. We love your
Thank
channel
you.
too. Thanks, Ebony. Oh God, you guys have a great time today. Hope to see you back later on for the second show. Thank you so much for all your comments in the live chat and replay crew. Let's hear your thoughts down below in the comments section. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the show today. We really, really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell a friend. Come and join us in these stupid little conversations that we have about these stupid little shows. Okay, so Jamal, any final thoughts?
No, we're good.
Cool. So until next time.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.